Howdy.
Hello, George.
Hey, Dan. Nice to see you. It's been a while.
Good to see you
It's been a while
too.
for me.
Yeah, when's the last time we did this together? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute for sure. Yeah, a couple
Where
months at
where have
least.
you been? In outer space or something?
Right on cue. You still got the segues there dialed in. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
And it's nice
Well,
to see everybody here too. I'm looking forward to talking all about this space tech. This is kind of a space tech episode, right? Or what do they call it? Space tech? Is that the right term?
space tech. Well, outer space is a fun place to go, and a lot of people have been doing it lately. So yeah, let us know in chat. Who should we send to outer space next? I see Sanoga's here, and Linda's here, and some others. So, Anonymous, welcome everybody to Live at Epiphan. And why don't we just jump right into it? There's been a lot happening in the last couple of weeks, George. So let's head on over and get the lowdown. Roll graphics, Cameron. I didn't give you enough notice that time. I'm sorry. So I don't know if you were paying attention last week, George. On October 4th, Facebook went kaput. It was down for like 6 or 7 hours, was meant that, not only Facebook, but Facebook Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus, even whole bunch of different apps you couldn't log into for, I think, like 6 or 7 hours. Were you affected by the Facebook outage?
Well, I've had my own Facebook outage for a little while now, and that I've tried not to use it since maybe August or so. So that's been a good thing for me. I've been one of the many people who've maybe seen some health benefits from not being on Facebook. So it didn't affect me personally, but then I kept hearing all these crazy stories about what a big deal it is. Like a lot of people depend on Facebook, not just for seeing updates for their friends, but they run their businesses there. That's their like primary communication tool. So the ripples were pretty huge, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. There was some of the interesting facts that kind of came out of it was seeing where all of that traffic went instead
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Facebook. Like, what did the people do? Facebook was down. It's almost like, oh, my cell phone isn't working today. Now what? Right.
totally. Yeah, I'm sure for a lot of
So
people, like Messenger is their lifeline to, well, either all their friends or their entire
yeah,
business. So
group chats, absolutely. And you think of apps like Instagram, where people run their entire business through promotion. Being
mm-hmm.
closed, having your store closed for a day is not ideal. So
Yeah, and Facebook, like that's their store. So their store went down for that many hours. So I think you have numbers there. How much money did this cost Zuckerberg and co?
yeah, I think it's well, Zuckerberg personally lost about $7 billion in personal wealth, apparently, after the stock kind of took a dip. So the stock dropped $20 over the day and lost about $50 billion in revenue. So that's
Did it
that's pretty
did it
significant.
did it recover? Do you know if they had a bounce back? Because I know like that one day there'll be this huge drop off. I wonder how much of that revenue they got
I
back.
haven't looked. I mean, they always say buy the dip, but Facebook hasn't been in anyone's good graces lately in the
No,
news, has it?
no, it hasn't. They've got a lot of bad PR, and I know they're talking about trying to do something about that bad PR by perhaps changing her name, right?
Yeah, I saw that actually just, I think, yesterday in the news. There's something about, they're going to build a parent company brand, kind of similar to what Google did a few years back with
Yeah,
Alphabet.
Google got out ahead of this ahead of time and said, we're going to be seen as the evil empire. Let's go hide behind a front called Alphabet.
Yeah. Yeah. I see in chat, we've got Linda over here saying she didn't notice because she was actually working for once on that day. So
Good
that's
choice.
good. I see Tim Trot's here as well. He's got the alien head. Hello,
Nice. Hey,
Tim. Good
Tim.
to see you in chat. Yeah, let us know what you guys think. Like, is this going to really shake things up? Is this outage like a sign harbinger of things to come? I think it does kind of make people reconsider that, like, what happens when one major tech company has such a big place, not only in the marketplace, but in the world. Like, are we over relying on some of the big tech companies to provide the services that we need?
It certainly makes you look around, right? Like when it's your default behavior, you don't really, you don't think to go other places than Facebook for Facebooky stuff. But on that day, everybody did, right?
Yeah, people went to Telegram. There was like, I think Telegram had 70 million new users
Yeah,
that
I'd
day.
never heard of Telegram. You had to explain it to me yesterday when we were prepping for the show. And you use Telegram yourself, right? Like you go there
I like it.
regularly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a little more unfiltered, as I would say. Like it's not wrapped in advertising, and I don't have to give my personal information, and I can still access, all kinds of
yeah,
news and group chat and a lot of the things that people use Facebook for.
yeah.
So
Until they get bought by Facebook, it'll be like the delightful place to hang out, just like
exactly.
WhatsApp was and Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just like Microsoft Teams is in the news as well. Let's take a look at what's been happening. Microsoft Teams has become so popular, it may actually be illegal. What?
Ooh.
I don't get that. Have you heard this story? What's going on with this?
Yeah, this is a familiar story around Microsoft because they're always getting into hot water over antitrust stuff. And as I understand it, antitrust is basically, we don't really want a monopoly. We want there to be a competitive, we are a capitalist society and we want options for people and not to have those options forced upon them. So I guess that's what Slack's arguing here, that it's a default behavior for customers who already have the Teams Office. Sorry, they already have the Office suite by Microsoft. They throw in Teams for free. So they're saying, well, like, can we have a chance here? Like, how do we compete with Microsoft when Teams is free for every Office user? So that's their argument here. But we'll see. This will probably be like a 10-year story.
Yeah.
Because antitrust stuff doesn't, get solved in a small claims court in, Iowa.
Right. I wonder if we'll see more crossover between like the video conferencing world and apps and like kind of like the business, like internal messaging, Slack channels. Like, I mean, here at Epiphan, we actually use Zoom, which I don't think is the super common way of internal chat. Like we definitely leverage it because we use video all the time, right? But
Yeah.
do you think we'll see more of that? Like, is Discord going to end up becoming a video conferencing app? Where does this
I don't
all?
know. I couldn't really answer that. I mean, you see times when all of the things get gobbled up by a larger player, which is kind of what's happening with a lot of, like, Slack got bought by Salesforce. And so you see that conglomeration that goes on, but then you see other times when it gets broken all apart, like what we're talking about with Facebook. Maybe Facebook gets broken up and WhatsApp gets spun off and other things get spun off. But so I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a wait and see. I do love Slack. I'm not as big of a fan of Teams. So like if there can be some good competition there, I think it's good for us, the consumers and the people who use these apps, rather than more centralization. But yeah, who knows? I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll hold my tongue on my feelings about Microsoft products. Keep this a nice, lively, friendly conversation.
Yeah. Speaking of lively, another lively thing, well, actually kind of like the headline of our episode today is pretty exciting.
Yeah,
always
everybody
exciting
in our
when
office
you
gets excited when these things come up because we have such a history with space and our products being on some of these involved with these. So it gets everybody's attention around here. Were you glued to the set here, Dan?
Not this time, just because to me this wasn't as interesting. So I guess we'll give the backstory for everyone listening. Is this was last Wednesday on the 13th of October. Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' spaceflight company, they had a successful launch of the New Shepard mission, which was called NS-18. And they sent up 4 private citizens. So there was a doctor, there was a couple other people, but the name everyone resonated with was Willliam Shatner, Captain Kirk. They sent him to space for real. So Shatner was, I think he was in zero gravity, high atmosphere, not quite orbit, but pretty high up there. He was up there for a few minutes. So it was just kind of cool to, hear the news around this. I don't know if you had any reaction or what your thoughts on this are.
Do you know why did they take Shatner up? I understand the story. Like, it's a great narrative to say, hey, Captain Kirk's going to space. Is that it? Or was there something else around this? Like, did they have,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a bit of a flex here by Bezos, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, Bezos, I think, was a fan of William Shatner, and like he proposed this. I bet this is like just like a morning thoughts idea that Bezos had one day, and like he was uniquely positioned to be able to make it happen, right? Yeah. Like, But I think what kind of got lost in the story a bit, and actually William Shatner had some very nice things to say at the end. Like he was kind of trying to, create. Shatner definitely had that like emotional side of it, of like,
Yeah.
looking down at the earth and thinking about what our purpose is and all of that warm fuzzy stuff. But beyond that, like this does make an argument for more consumer space flight and more low earth technology, like low earth orbit technology and things like that. So
it also, for me, it shows, you can get, how old is Shatner?
He's 90, believe it or not.
He's 90. You can get a 90-year-old a guy up into space. Then it's like, it's a little safer. Like you don't have to be this like, it's not like climbing Mount Everest where you have to be in prime physical condition. Not to say Shatner's not in good condition, but he's vulnerable. He's part of the vulnerable sector, and he's that old. But so I don't know, it makes me feel a little safer. When they ask me, I'll be like, okay.
I mean, good for him. So yeah, Shatner, his big comment was like, "Oh, how beautiful the Earth is." But yeah, I wanted to point out one interesting thing is this was not actually the first Star Trek character to be in outer space. In fact, there was an astronaut. Let me see if I can find her. Yeah, this is her. This is Mae Jemison, Doctor. So she was actually featured in Star Trek: The Next Generation, and she was an astronaut who went up many years back. Not sure exactly what her 1992. So just an interesting fact. I thought, this was actually not the first time someone who has been on Star Trek as a character has been in outer space. Mae was actually, of course, she was an astronaut first and a Star Trek actor second. But I just thought this was really cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't hear about her name a little bit more during the whole thing, because it's the perfect like side story for it.
Okay, so here's the question. Now that we're sending actors into space, who do we send next? What's going to grab the headlines next, and who's going to send someone next? What are your thoughts?
Elon Musk send up? No, he wouldn't do it. His company's a little bit more oriented towards.
He just sends cars into outer space. That makes a lot of sense.
Fair point. Okay, yeah. Who's the next celebrity?
We had some predictions. So this was Marta's prediction. There we go. Betty White. Right. Let's beat White. Shatner. Let's put an even older person into outer space and beloved.
the age race. The new space age race.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's hilarious.
I'm just looking at chat as well. BBI Productions is here. Hey, how's it going? He says, it's only a matter of time before someone, he's going back to Discord. Someone buys Discord. They declined Microsoft once. At some point, there will be enough billions on the table. And also, apparently, PayPal is making a bid for Pinterest. Very interesting. We'll be keeping tabs on all of this. But yeah, Teams is a big one. And some of those integrations, I think, with the video conferencing will be interesting. Mm-hmm. Staying on the topic of space and putting video production or actors or production people into space. This was an interesting story. This is a Russian film crew who successfully completed a 12-day space mission to ISS to shoot a film. So this is, I think, the first time a feature film has been shot in outer space. It's a movie called The Challenge, which is going to be released in 2022. It's a docudrama about a heart surgeon who has to urgently go into space to perform open heart surgery in zero gravity.
That flies. I'd watch that. Sounds good.
That's an interesting premise.
Yeah. Heart floating around. There's going to be a scene where like they're cut open the chest and the heart just floats right out there, and they have to grab it and push it back in, like holding it in.
How do you deal with the blood though? It's going to like glom into these
floating That's
orbs.
Basically the middle 30 minutes of the movie is dealing with the floating organs and blood particles. I hope it is. I would love to see this. Did they say when it's actually going to come out?
I think sometime next year is when they're anticipating it. So the film is this is a quote from Dmitry Rogozin, who's the head of Roscosmos. Says the film is an experiment to see if Roscomos can prepare two ordinary people to fly in about 3 or 4 months. Okay, so part of this is to be able to see if like ordinary folks can go up into space
Yeah.
and stay there for an extended period of time. I think based on the footage I'm seeing, like this guy here is an astronaut, but the other guy here, we just saw him getting out of the vehicle. He looks a little bit rattled, actually. Like,
that's what I would look like. He looks like what you should look like after you just landed. I don't know how these people walk out of these things. Like Will Shatner comes out looking just shiny and happy, like he just landed in Dallas from a commercial airline.
yeah, well, did he? So maybe the question is, did he actually go? That was the meta question, is did Shatner actually go? Because I saw this Photoshop. Okay, here's Bezos. Here's William Shatner. It kind of looks like, oh, is that just a Photoshop job? Same uniform? I don't know.
I like
it. George is just like, yeah, I don't know. Look at the comparison. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too
this is our
conspiratorial here.
Here
this is conspiracy corner. We don't have a segment for this yet.
Yeah. But this Russian thing is interesting. Like you combine all these stories around space, they're all wacky. Like we have gone, space was like the most serious, hardcore science thing. Like no one ever took any, now people have sent in a car, Will Shatner and actors to do a film in space in the last, 3 years.
Yeah, maybe the next will be like David Blaine and he does it without a spacesuit or something like that.
You know what?
Right?
It's
like some
totally
stunt.
on brand for both like these rich guys who run space agencies and David Blaine.
Yeah, so that would be a nice collaboration right there. Maybe that's what Musk should be doing. I see in chat, BBI saying SpaceX could make Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. And yeah, Marta, that's what I'm saying. It's all fake. Thank you, Marta, for that vote of support on my conspiracy theories. Here's something interesting that is not a conspiracy theory. I thought I'd share this. This is right out of Star Wars. If you've ever seen the when they're playing like hologram chess on the Millennium Falcon, this is like real life holograms. This is Lightfield Lab, a startup. There's some Silicon Valley company who has developed what they call, I think it's called a hard light projection. And they can do like some hologram without needing a display surface. Like a lot of the similar technologies you've seen, you have to look through a pane of glass to be able to see the hologram. Or there's like some mist, like they use some kind of mist to project light onto like small particles. But
yes.
Here it's just like really impressive.
Do you know how they're doing it? Are they shooting light from different sides of that space or something like that?
So it looks like, I don't know, man. It's hard to know. Like,
Dan, can you please explain in very simple language how holograms work? Thank you.
No problem. I'll just bring out my astrophysicist hat here, but
yeah,
you see she's actually putting her hand right in it, but it's interesting, like you don't see the light on her hand.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I don't know, like
it's weird. It's hard to tell on video, these ones. This is one I really need to go. This is why we need to go to NAB and these trade shows, is when people show off all this technology that never gets really used in real life, but they really sell it at these shows.
They're saying they can scale this up with more light panels, like it uses some kind of light panels, and they think that they can scale it up to like, room scale. Or
that one's very cool. That one really got me. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, they must be hiding something with all of these branches and leaves around
that's what I thought too,
around the hologram. But it'd be interesting to learn more. Okay, here it is. They say it's some kind of proprietary light source and a phase guide.
Oh, thanks, that clears it all up.
Yeah, phase guide, TM, focused solid light object, whatever that is. So
well, we'll have to go see this, go find this, and get these guys on our live show.
Exactly. Maybe we should do a fully hologram live show.
And they can turn us into holograms and we could stay home.
Yeah, totally. Wait, we're already doing that.
Yeah, fair point.
So enough chitter chatter. Let's get real now. Let's go over to the kitchen. Grab ourselves a cup of coffee in the kitchen.
Already. We need some music here.
Wanted to share some happenings around Epiphan. So next week, we have another one of our star-studded Epiphan webinars with none other than the man himself, technical guru and customer support expert, George Herbert, who will be fielding any and all of your questions live. This is kind of like an Ask Me Anything Q&A, open forum. And I think actually this will be a call-in show as well, which is really super cool. So what do you get out of this? Well, you can come in and talk about use cases, get some video production tips. If you want to jam on some gear solutions or, you know, get really technical, anything is, any kind of questions are welcome. Will you be there, George?
I'll be there.
In the background.
Some hard-hitting questions. No, not in the background. We're going to get personal.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, looking forward to this webinar. So if you are interested, you can always check out epiphan.com/webinars to register for our webinars and save your spot. They're also available as VODs afterwards if you want to tag up with that. So yeah, I hope everyone here on the live show can join us. It'd be great to see, you know, some of you fellas, Tim Trott, BBI, Linda, Sonoga, come on over to the webinar and hang out with us, and be interested to see what kind of technical things you might want to talk about, or production setups. What else is happening here? Coming soon, Wistia. Have you seen this, George?
No, I haven't seen this one, and I always try to check out the Wistia series. They do a great job on creating original content, and they're really creative, so it's usually good.
Yeah, I like this. I like the branding of this, like with kind of the animated theme. It's really cool. So this is Gear Squad versus Dr. Boring, the cartoon only a marketer could love. So if you're not familiar with Wistia, they have all of these amazing original series. So you can get some like office workplace type content. You can get some kind of thought leadership around branding and, you know, launching a business and using video production. So just worth checking these out. And I think actually we are going to have a guest from Wistia joining us on the live show in a couple of weeks. So
that's great.
Yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. I'm sure it'll be an interesting conversation. And actually Epiphan uses Wistia for a lot of the videos that we host on our website. And I know Cameron has a lot of good things to say about their video hosting platform. So it'll be nice to chat with them and learn a little bit more about what they've been up to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're smart people over there.
So I think that pretty much wraps things up for what we wanted to talk. Anything else you want to jam on this week, George?
I'm going to go work on my hologram and
yeah.
See if I can get that knocked out in 2 weeks' time to talk to Wistia.
Yeah. And in the meantime, let's find out. Yeah. Who would we send into space from Epiphan if you had to pick?
It wouldn't be me.
Maybe Robert Draxler.
Maybe Rob. Maybe Marta. No. I know it wouldn't be me. I'd get sick like in a minute, so I'd be maybe your last choice. You don't want to go with me.
Let's send the whole support team. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah,
we could send they probably get some good footage while they're up there.
We could send Leroy in, our ringer.
Yeah, that's true. Leroy Chow. If anyone isn't familiar with Leroy Chow, just Google him. He's not only an astronaut, but like a space enthusiast and teacher who has a lot of cool stories. So good friend of Epiphan, worth looking him up. So yeah, why don't we leave it at that for now. Thanks everyone for joining us on Live at Epiphan today. And as usual, you can always hit us up on the socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You find us on YouTube. You're here right now if you're on YouTube. So again, thanks for joining us. You can always email us as well at info@epiphan.com. And Linda's saying, don't said George Herbert. He has that weird ear thing. Uh-oh, George. I don't know what the weird ear thing is, but Linda must
Well, stay tuned for the AMA next week, and we'll dig.
Yeah, join the webinar and we'll find out what the ear thing is. Until then, we'll see you guys next live show in a couple weeks.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Bye-bye.